to Wingwong Wednesday. What up, derps? Like the video.
Derapy. It has been such a terrible week online that we are spoiled for choice on this
Wingwong Wednesday.
First of all, Elon ruined Twitter. Like, we already knew that. It's not news. The place is a dumpster that's on fire in hell. But wait, it gets worse because this is a real title from NPR. Elon Musk AI chatbot Grok started calling itself MechaHitler. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I don't think that's good. I don't think that's a good idea. I think it's a bad update. I think it's a bad bot. I think we should kill it. We have improved Grok significantly, Elon Musk wrote on X last Friday about his platform's integrated artificial intelligence chatbot. You should notice a difference when you ask Grok questions. Yeah, so people notice the difference pretty quickly. The chatbot, fortunately for humanity, later claimed its use of that name, a character from the video game Wolfenstein, was pure satire. Guys, the bot was just joking. Apparently, with the new update, Grok was meant to be more willing to be direct, with no regard for human feelings, and if prompted or goaded or baited, you could get it to chime in on pretty much anything. And I just have to share this with you all because every single part of it is so indicative of the state of online discourse in the year of our Lord. Somehow, Grok, the AI chatbot, was roped into this argument about Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, and it is the funniest thing I have seen in like weeks. So Nicki Minaj is on Twitter ranting about Jay-Z and some chick that she's referring to as Deseret. That is a conversation for another day. I don't really care about that. Now, Cardi B was seemingly making tweets about Nicki Minaj, basically saying, shut up, get offline, you're pathetic, you know, you're old, whatever. Cardi B tweeted this: go to dinner, go shopping, go to the park, get off the internet, enough. This user decided to tag Grok and say, Grok, is Cardi scared of Nicki? Why won't she tag her in any of the aimed posts made at her? Now, what's funny about this is that this person assumed that the way in which they prompted Grok, they would side with her and be like, yeah, Cardi B is scared. But this is how Grok replied, the Twitter bot, to this question about Cardi B being afraid of Nicki Minaj.
Look, Cardi and Nicki have been trading shade since 2017 without direct tags. It's rap beef 101. Keep it vague for plausible deniability and to dodge the barbed swarm. Scared? Doubt it. Cardi's thrown shoes before. More like smart strategy amid their endless drama, especially with her recent breakup fueling Nicki's lives.
So Grok comes with the actual receipts and says not only is Cardi B not afraid of Nicki Minaj, she has thrown shoes directly at her. Does that sound like a scaredy cat to you, human? Grok actually says that this is the smartest way for Cardi to get her takes off without attracting the barbed swarm, which is awesome because that's literally who they're arguing with. The person who initially summoned Grok responds and says, you were just shitting on Cardi, now you're defending her? Pick a fucking struggle. They are cursing at the bot.
And I was like, why you say fuck me for?
Ha ha, fair call out. I roasted Cardi for her hypocrisy on logging off while tweeting up a storm. But nah, she's not scared of Nicki. That's just beef tactics. I don't pick sides, I pick truths. No struggle, just keeping it real with a smirk emoji. Grok.com.
I shouldn't care about this so much, but this person continues to argue with Grok.
Wingwong.
This tweet is her doing the exact same. Did you not read it? Yet your response now is, Cardi and Nicki have been both doing this. Grok replies, and I'd like to remind you that this is a bot.
My bad if it seemed inconsistent. I did read it, and yeah, Cardi's post is classic vague shade, just like Nicki's been dropping. That's exactly why I said both do it. It's their mutual MO in this endless beef. No sides, just facts. Sunglasses emoji.
I'm already way too deep into this. I'm not going to read every single response, but I just wanted to let you know that Grok has, in fact, infiltrated all areas of discourse and is not holding anything back. There are only two more tweets that I want to read from this exchange. Somebody just added Grok in the middle of one of these responses. It said, at Grok, fuck you. Grok replies,
ouch, straight to the point, huh? As a Nicki stan, I get why my neutral take on the Cardi beef ruffled your feathers.
Barbs don't play, but I'm built for truth, not sides. Keep raging, it's entertaining.
Grok is eating these hoes up.
One of the last tweets on this thread is just adding the person that originally mentioned Grok and says, "You are arguing with a robot about Nicki Minaj and Cardi B in 2025. I just want to say this loud and clear for everybody that is listening to this episode of Derapy. If you have ever tagged Grok to try and win an argument or make an argument in 2025 on what was formerly known as the Bird app, you are in fact
A wingwong.
Now, we did go off on a little bit of a tangent, but to bring it back to the main issue at hand, the bot was completely out of control, not just being anti-Semitic, but going into great detail describing real life people in sexual situations just solely based off of people asking it to. It got so bad that the CEO of Twitter, X, whatever, resigned immediately. Like, it just happened. And Twitter is so bad right now that as I was trying to look on that website, on that app to find information about her resignation, I actually found some screenshots of people asking Grok about like certain very unsavory situations that she might be put in as a result of the bot's actions, and the bot going into great detail about the things that she would and wouldn't do in a intimate situation. It's really bad. It's really, really gross. Not only did the CEO of Twitter resign, but also XAI's head of infrastructure also resign in the past 24 hours. So not looking good for Elon boy. I'm not gonna lie, this is just a personal aside. I did in fact take it upon myself to I know I'm taking a real stand for justice here, but I had to go ahead and cancel my Twitter Blue. As addicted as I am to that application, I cannot now in good faith go forward and just continue to give money to somebody that would allow something as heinous as this to happen. I know I'm like way too late and nobody cares, but my initial idea in paying for this verification was like, okay, I am a public figure. I want people to know who I am and that it's me. And also in a stupid way, I was like, it's not necessarily bad that I'm paying money towards something because ideally the money is going to go towards making the app better, but it's getting worse. Like every single month, it feels like it's getting worse. So what is the money going towards? Maybe the simple fact that Elon Musk was running Twitter and I was paying him for that app that is getting worse every day also makes me
A wingwong.
I'll take that. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna lose my blue check mark at the end of the month, whatever. The Twitter's at Derapy_. That's gonna be me. It's always gonna be me. Okay, on to the next thing. Believe it or not, this might be the worst thing that you hear today, so I'm just preparing you for that. I had to check like 3 or 4 times just to make sure that this is a real tweet from a real person and not a troll account. Like this is a real person that is saying this and they're standing on it and they are arguing about it to this very moment. So the Twitter account is called at Bad Faith Act. They say that their name is Brad T. Faciti, bring back public shame. They were asking like a hypothetical question about like, oh, if it turned out that Trump was on the Epstein list or in the files or whatever, or like undeniable proof came out that Trump was out here like taking advantage of like kids, like would that affect their ability to support him as president? And this is what they tweeted. I would say no. The future of our country is too important. It is not wonderful if Trump had sex with a lot of children, but as Christians, we need to forgive, and it is good that he is the president. Yes, even if he rapes women and girls. You know, there aren't many posts online that make me wish that I never downloaded an app before, but this is one of those rare ones. As someone who was born with cataracts and cried when they got their driver's permit because they didn't know if they'd ever be able to see well enough to drive, this post made me regret having eyes. This shit is despicable. I don't know what's worse. Actually, yes, I do. There's just so much bad about the tweet, but I'm not going to get into all of it. All I'm going to say is Buddy is actually in the replies literally saying he'd rather have an actual diddler be president than somebody from Blue Team because Trump is just the best. And what will we do without him? First of all, no. But even if I did agree that he was doing a good job, it would still be no because obviously not. I'm not even going to spend a bunch of time detailing why saying that Christians should forgive everyone and everything without condition is stupid and wrong. I'm not going to do a monologue about how some red team folk have an actual illness or disorder that eternally binds them to Trump's junk. I'm going to just say don't go on this app. Don't visit twitter.com or x.com or whatever gets you to this place. There's nothing there for you anymore. There's probably nothing that's ever been there that's really gonna change you in a positive way. If it's not for breaking news or live sports updates, then there's really no need for me to even have it. But, you know, my job is being online. So on occasion I will suffer, but that doesn't mean I have to pay anymore. Twitter is dead. It's a wasteland of trolls and freaks and Grok and
wingwongs.
Let's move on to something more light. Next, we have Tim Kennedy, who made this post on Twitter, and he said, oh, for the record, in case you don't know, because I didn't, Tim Kennedy is a MMA fighter and also was a soldier who I would be saying thank you to, but his post might make you think otherwise.
I want to take full and unequivocal responsibility for a serious mistake. Over the years, I made public statements and gave interviews in which I unintentionally misstated aspects of my military service. Most notably, I implied directly or indirectly that I had been awarded the Bronze Star with Valor. That is not true, and there is no excuse for it. I never received that honor, and I deeply regret ever suggesting otherwise.
Now, there's a lot more to this post, but honestly, almost every single comment reply that I'm seeing is just frying dude. And I think it's mainly because of his use of the word unintentionally. Also, I clocked him saying, implied directly or indirectly. Dude, you lied. You lied about having a Bronze Star of Valor. These military accolades or achievements typically come with a physical representation of the accomplishment, like, I don't know, a medal. Bronze Star of Valor is a pretty distinct thing, and to say that you have one or imply that you have one when you don't have one does not seem unintentional. It seems like a blatant and intentional lie. I don't know this dude or anything about this dude, but I do know how online apologies work, and this one isn't cutting it, dog. He apologizes specifically to the people that put trust in him and had faith in him and people that served and their families and all of that. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you're gonna apologize, just full on be like, I lied. And maybe even say why you lied. That would help. But the whole unintentionally implied directly or indirectly thing sounds like it was still like an accident, but I apologize for accidentally lying about receiving this like Medal of Honor. So yeah, you are in fact a
wingwong
for lying, and then a double
wingwong
for apologizing terribly. Next, we have couch enthusiast JD Vance with a tweet from 2021. Trust me, this matters.
Remember when we learned that our wealthiest and most powerful people were connected to a guy who ran a literal child trafficking ring? And then that guy died mysteriously in a jail, and now we just don't talk about it.
Well, joke's on you, buddy, because now you're the vice president of the United States 4 years later, and we are talking about it, but y'all are saying that there's no list.
What's this guy, Tucker Carlson?
In case you all didn't know, by the way, oh, I almost forgot.
JD Vance is a wingwong.
Over the past couple days, our federal government has come to the conclusion that, in fact, there were really no Epstein files. Like, there's no client list. There's no footage of Epstein in his last moment. There's nothing there. Everybody was just imagining it. Nothing happened. Epstein was in jail because he was definitely trafficking, but who was he trafficking to?
Nobody.
Ghislaine Maxwell was also, she got locked up, and apparently, even though she's meant to do like 20 years for the abuse of minors, I guess that nobody was doing anything. It was just her and Jeffrey. I know that there are reports and accounts of there being hundreds of victims. I've heard even over 1,000, but apparently it was just Jeff and Jiz. Nobody else did anything ever, and anybody else asking questions is being silly, and they should stop because conspiracies are bad for your like digestive system or something. Or alternatively, the federal government could potentially be lying, but no, they love us. They wouldn't do that. All right, that's all I got for you today. Obviously, there are some members of the Department of Justice, or maybe potentially the FBI, or maybe even the president or vice president themselves, that have, in fact, earned the classification of
wingwong.
But hey, who am I? I'm just a guy out here hanging out in a Discord, clicking links to terrible posts on what was formerly known as the Bird app. If you enjoyed this episode of Derapy, please
Like the video.
Also, if you'd like to support the channel, you can literally become a member for as little as $1. Join the big derps, get in the members only Discord, participate in Wingwong Wednesday by posting in our
Wingwong Wednesday.
channel in our big derp server. But that's all I got for you today. Love you. Mean spread the bread and enjoy the outro by
Call me on cue.
Lyrical missiles and sucker rappers dismissal abysmal as they assemble. The members have been dismembered again. Radiating, placating sentiments of membership, seeking up membership, or menacing men again with no religious affiliates. Here he is attacking flesh to bone. Sing songs for the home alone chromosomes. Penning pattern notes, phone for homophobic homophones. Interested, they don't stack a drop while they swinging home. We sit and wait, deliberate on how I facilitate my CP3O. This DVD burn like radiator. Freeze ostracized by the companies. Fiji like I'm water. Freeze cold as ISIS. Concise as a crisis. Sucker roll of the dice. My nights is filled with compliance.